Everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the last video, we talked about calculating temperature using StatMech principles. In this video, I'll be talking about calculating pressure from the similar principle. So, the first thing that we looked at in the previous video was the equipartition theorem and using it to calculate temperature. In this video, we'll apply a similar technique to calculate the pressure. So, the first thing that we did in the previous lecture was writing the of the average of the energy in terms of kBt. So we saw that any energy that appears quadratically contributes half kBt to any particular degree of freedom for a particle, right? So similar principles we can apply for the potential energy also. So in this case, what we do is we take the derivative of the Hamiltonian with respect to coordinates. The previous case we took the derivative with respect to momentum. So let's see what we get out of this. So we know that H is kinetic energy of the system plus the potential energy of system, and dou H by dou Q will just be dou U by dou Q, right? This term will go to 0. So we have Qx, dou of U of Qx, which is equal to kBt. Before delving deeper, I just want to give you a brief idea of what we are going to calculate here. So this term is the derivative of potential with respect to coordinate. And this term is basically the coordinate. So we know that this term is basically the force, negative of the force. And this term is the coordinate or position. So we know that the work done of a system is given by F dot dx, right? So in a general sense, we understand that we are going to calculate the work done on the system or by the system, and then we are going to represent it in terms of thermal energy, that is kBt, right? Okay, let's look at the particular form of equation that you're going to get. So I already said that when you do this to qx, you get minus of f of any particular particle. I'm just writing here 1 x, right? So in the above equation, we just have minus of q1x f1 1x kBt. This is for any particular particle. Here I've taken as 1 and x component. If we compute for all the n number of particles and all the coordinate of the system, what we will have? We'll have something of this sort, right? So this is the force of the system. So this force has two components. That is an internal component, and then you have an external component. The internal force, that is force by the system, and then we have external force acting on the system, right? So this f I external is basically coming out of all the molecules hitting on the walls of the container. These molecules are moving around because of thermal energy. They are moving around, moving past each other. Then they hit the boundaries of the system. So the force that the molecules experience, or the force that the boundaries of the system experience because of this collision, is given by the external force, and then we have this internal force, which comes from the interactions between the atoms, particles, right? So this whole term this whole term can be written as a summation of, this Fi can be written as Fi external plus Fi internal. This will be equal to 3n kBt. And now let's take this particular thing. So what this means is, this is purely from the purely from the inelastic collision between the particles and the boundary of the system. So this is the uh, component of force, or component of the work done by the molecules, which will result in ideal pressure, right? Because we are looking at particles which are not interacting with each other. I mean, only for this particular case, because we have already separated out the interactions in this component, right? So this is the pressure or the work done by the ideal gas, and we know that the work done by ideal gas is given by PV, right? So this will contribute to three times the PV, because we have three components, right? So this whole equation can be rephrased as 3 times PV minus, and we are already getting a relationship for pressure. You can see that the pressure has already appeared in our equations here. Into this term, so I'm not writing it here. So this this n by v is just the number density of the system, rho. So we can write it as rho kBt plus 1 by 3v. So goes to n. Right, so this term is the ideal pressure, and this term is the excess pressure, which results out of the interaction between the atoms of the particles. This PID plus P excess. Okay, and then we write it as plus a virial term divided by the volume. So this virial term is this term 1 by 3 times this is the virial term. Let's try to expand this term into a meaningful expression. So what I've done here is I've written the force component as the force between two particular atoms, I and J. So this Fij will result out of the interaction Uij between two particles. For example, if you have two particles and let's say these are the coordinates for these particles. So what happens is we calculate the potential energy or the potential between these two particles. So this is the ith particle and this is the jth particle. And the potential function between these two particles will be given by Uij, and it will be a function of the distance between these two particles. Right, and this potential contributes to the force. Since we've already segregated the force due to collisions separately, in this case we'll be only talking about the force that results out of the interaction between the particles. Okay, and then when you have a system, you have if you have n system, then you have almost n by 2 ij pairs, right? So we calculate this force for all the ij pairs, and then we can then we can calculate the pressure. So this becomes this just goes on to split Fij into two separate components. So this is basically the third law of Newton's third law. So this just says that Fij should be equal to minus of Fji, right? Each Fji. This is Newton's third law. right? So what I've done here is I've substituted Fij is equal to minus Fji to the system. So this particularly, so what I've done here is, so we have Fij. So this will be this total force will be some, if we are calculating the interaction between 1 and 2, then we can say that this is F12 or F21. Both are one and the same thing, right? So that's what we have done here. So this is why this factor of half comes here, because we don't want to double count the forces. So whatever force we calculate, so if we calculate 1 2 or 1 3 or 1 4, we also calculate 4 1 4 3 1, like that. And then since we don't want to double count, we add a factor of half here. That's what is happening here. So this is basically this Qi and Qi minus Qij is basically, the distance between these particles. If you have two particles, and let's say this is any arbitrary coordinate system, you have this as Qi vector, and the position of this particle is Qj vector. So if you use the triangular method for vector addition, or uh, the parallelogram method for vector addition, you'll get that, this is the distance Qij between I and j particle. Now we can remove that half factor, and we say that this is only for j greater than I, right? And then we know this, as I told earlier, this comes from the potential Uij, and it's the way to calculate it is dou Uij by dou Qij should be equals to the Fij, right? So the derivative of potential with respect to the distance is the force. So this dou U by dou Qij can be written as the magnitude. This is the unit vector. Qi, this vector divided by the magnitude of Q vector, or Q. So plugging it back into the equation, we get, so this Qij times Qij is basically Q square. So this is how we calculate the magnitude, and then this Q square and Q will get cancelled. So we have this, in the LHS we have this. So now plugging it back into the virial form of the equation, we have minus 1 by 3 summing over I going from 1 to n, j greater than I. And from this we have the pressure of the system. This is how we calculate the pressure. So for any particular system, what we usually have the potential energy as a function of the distance between the particles. So it could be like this, or it could be a step function, or it could be anything. So what I'm saying is we already have u as a function of r, and then from this u we can calculate this quantity, this 2r 2u by 2r. Okay, and this quantity we can plug it here for all the particles pair, ij pair. Okay, and then this whole thing will lead us to the excess pressure, pxs. And then what we do is, when we calculate the pressure, we add the ideal part plus the pxs, which comes from this equation. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon to get instant updates.